In the bustling port city of Takoradi, Ghana, where the Atlantic breeze usually carries promises of a good catch and a thriving community, a dark shadow fell in 2018. It's a shadow that lingers to this day, a chilling story that has left a nation asking one haunting question. What happened to the 4 Takoradi girls? This is a story of mystery, heartbreak, and a search for answers that has led to more questions than conclusions. A story that reminds us how quickly the familiar can become terrifying. It all began in July 2018. Priscilla Blessing Bentham, a 21-year-old student, disappeared. Then, just a month later in August, another young woman, 18-year-old Ruth Love Quaison, vanished after receiving a call for a supposed job opportunity. The community was on edge, but the nightmare was far from over. In November, 15-year-old Priscilla Mantabia Koranshi went missing. Panic was now gripping the city. Finally, in December, the 4th victim, 18-year-old Ruth Abaka, disappeared. 4 young women, all from the same area, all vanished without a trace, their disappearances linked by a common thread of deceit and broken promises. The police investigation began, but from the start, it was fraught with confusion and controversy. A key suspect, a Nigerian man named Samuel Udutuk Wills, was arrested. He was a known kidnapper who had escaped from custody once before being recaptured. During interrogation, he claimed the girls were alive and had been sold. He sent the police on a wild goose chase, pointing to different locations, but none of them led to the girls. Then came another suspect, John Oji. The investigation seemed to be closing in, but for the families and the public, it felt like a slow, agonizing process. Allegations of police incompetence and even cover-ups began to circulate. The families were desperate, holding press conferences, pleading for answers. But the information they received was often conflicting and heartbreakingly vague. As the official investigation stumbled, theories began to swirl throughout Ghana. The most terrifying was the specter of human trafficking and ritual killings. The region is not unfamiliar with such horrors, and many believed the girls had been taken for dark, unspeakable purposes. The suspects' claims that the girls were sold fueled these fears. Other theories pointed to a wider conspiracy, suggesting that influential figures might be involved, which would explain the sluggish pace and alleged mishandling of the investigation. Were the police hiding something? Or were they simply outsmarted by a cunning criminal network? Every new rumor added another layer of fear and mistrust, turning the case into a complex web of speculation. The impact on Takoradi was profound. A city once known for its vibrant energy became a community shrouded in fear. Parents were scared to let their children out of their sight. The faces of the 4 missing girls were everywhere, on posters, on social media, on the news. They became a symbol of a community's broken heart. For the families, life became a living nightmare. They held vigils, organized protests, and relentlessly hounded the authorities, their cries for justice echoing across the nation. Their search wasn't just for their daughters. It was a search for closure, for an end to the agonizing uncertainty that had consumed their lives. They were trapped in a limbo of hope and despair, a state no family should ever have to endure. Eventually, the police made a grim discovery. Skeletal remains were found in a septic tank behind the main suspect's former residence. DNA tests confirmed the worst fears of the families and the nation. The remains belonged to the 4 missing girls. In March 2021, the 2 main suspects were found guilty and sentenced to death. But for many, this verdict didn't feel like justice. It felt like an incomplete ending to a tragic story. Too many questions remain unanswered. Why were they killed? Was anyone else involved? The official conclusion brought a legal end to the case, but it failed to bring true closure. The chilling mystery of what truly transpired, the specific horrors those girls faced in their final moments, remains buried. The case is closed, but the story feels far from over, leaving a permanent scar on the heart of Takoradi and a haunting question that may never be fully answered. Thank you for watching.